Hi, hello. Welcome to my class on ethers and its preparations. This class is on general methods of preparation of ethers. In this first method I am taking is intermolecular dehydration of alcohol. So what do you mean by intermolecular dehydration of alcohols? When alcohols are treated with concentrated H2SO4 or phosphoric acid or phosphoric acid. So you have concentrated H2SO4 you can take. Concentrated H2SO4 is a common dehydrating agent, or else you can take orthophosphoric acid H3PO4. These should be treated at 140 degrees Celsius. This alcohol should be treated at 140 degrees Celsius. So when you treat alcohols, alcohol will be converted into ether. This is the mode of reaction. In this reaction, water will be removed, as these two compounds are said to be good dehydrating agents. So here alcohol molecule itself, alcohol to alcohol, that means one alcohol molecule joins with another alcohol molecule for the removal of water, that is called as intermolecular dehydration of alcohols. So if you take two molecules of alcohol ROH, the two molecules of alcohol in this condition gives either ROR with the removal of water molecule. So here water molecule will be removed in the presence of concentrated H2SO4 or orthophosphoric acid. Usually this method is said to be useful for preparing symmetrical ethers. That means we can prepare either both the alkyl groups can be same alkyl groups. For example, if you take ethyl alcohol, suppose you take ethyl alcohol, that is C2H5 OH. So that ethyl alcohol you have to take 2 moles. And after taking the 2 moles of ethyl alcohol, from this ethyl alcohol in the presence of this concentrated H2SO4, particularly at 140 degrees Celsius. This has to be 140 degrees Celsius. At 140 degrees Celsius, what will happen? Water molecule will be eliminated from the reacting species to give either, simply we will call it as ether, but it is diethyl ether. Exactly, to say it is diethyl ether C2H5O C2H5. So in this way we can prepare the alcohols. So in this way we can prepare ethers from alcohols. So when we start taking this dehydration of alcohols, symmetrical ethers, for example, if you have taken a ether which is obtained from the above method called as intermolecular dehydration, that we will call it as symmetrical ether. Symmetrical ether. That ether you will call it as symmetrical ether. Means both the alkyl groups are same. But if you try to prepare unsymmetrical ethers, means unsymmetrical ethers means ROR dash. That means alkyl groups are different. That time we can call that ether is unsymmetrical ether. Unsymmetrical ether. So if you try to prepare this type of unsymmetrical ether, then what will happen? So in this unsymmetrical ether concepts, when you take unsymmetrical ethers like this, alcohol whatever you are taking, the alcohols should be different types of alcohols. So one is R dash OH, one is ROH. In this, you are going to get, there are different kinds of ethers. So if one alcohol is undergoing this type of dehydration, that will give one symmetrical ether, that is ROR. If other molecule R dash OH involved in this reaction, then it will give R dash OR, R dash OR dash. In the other case, what will happen? Third case, the R dash OR dash also possible. Means what happened here is mixed. The concept is nothing but mixed ethers is obtained in this discussion. That means it is very difficult to prepare the unsymmetrical ethers as we are getting three different products in this reaction. That means formation of a mixture of three ethers is observed in this one is not said to be one of the favorable condition in this intermolecular dehydration of alcohols. Now this we can see in this notes. Students can write down their notes also in my class. When alcohols are treated with H2SO4 or H3PO4, what happens at 140 degrees Celsius? A molecule of water is eliminated from two alcohol molecules give ether. This reaction we are calling as intermolecular dehydration of alcohols. But alcohols on dehydration intramolecularly give alkenes. This is what we need to learn in this one. For example, any kind of alcohol is there. If that alcohol is undergoing dehydration intramolecularly means there are some alcohols are there like tertiary uh, alcohols. Means if you take tertiary alcohol like this CH3, CH. Here I am taking CH3, CH3 like this. And these alcohol, this is said to be a tertiary butyl alcohol. And in this tertiary butyl alcohol, when you apply the same condition of concentrated H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4 at 140 degrees Celsius, what will happens? Instead of giving the ether, this will undergo elimination reaction of water eliminated from this one, and it produces an alkene, that is CH3, CH, here CH3, here gets double bond CH2. So water got eliminated from the reaction. So we got alkene, isobutylene. This is nothing but an alkene. So you want to prepare ether, but we got alkene from the alcohol, that is tertiary alcohol. Even if you go beyond 140 degrees Celsius for normal alcohols, also secondary alcohols, primary alcohols, the situation is same, that is removal of water. Elimination takes place from water ethyl alcohols and give alkenes. Okay. So what is the condition for this alcohol? Alcohol should be taken excess in this reaction to get ethers. Otherwise what will happen? The dehydration of alcohols may give alkenes, that we'll call it as intramolecular dehydration of alcohols, that won't give ethers. And one more thing we have to observe in this one, when we go beyond that 140 degrees Celsius, elimination forms alkenes. We saw the equations. Now let us see one more thing here in this one, that is dehydration of alcohols to ethers is said to be useful for the preparation of symmetrical ethers. I have already shown you. Symmetrical ethers means both the alkyl groups in the ether formula should be same. If you try to prepare unsymmetrical, what will happens? Using the combination of two alcohols, ROH, R-OH, it leads to the formation of mixture of three ethers is obtained, that is ROR, ROR dash, R dash, OR dash, that I have shown it to you. And let us see what is the one more important factor in this one is nothing but dehydration of alcohols to ethers is what kind of reaction, that is called as nucleophilic substitution reaction. A protonated alcohol in a molecule acts as substrate and a second alcohol molecule acts as nucleophile. So here what will happen that primary alcohols undergo SN2 reaction mechanism while that of the other secondary and tertiary alcohols will undergo SN1 reaction mechanism, that is the dehydration mechanism to give ethers. So how that will takes place we will see in this chemical general reaction mechanism. For example, if you have taken ROH, an alcohol, and this alcohol is said to be treated in the presence of H2SO4, means that provides one H plus ion, suppose. Then this alcohol will become the protonated alcohol. That alcohol will become protonated alcohol. After protonation, what will happen? You all know that the oxygen will get positive and that is oxonium ion will be formed. This we will call it as protonated alcohol. And immediately SN2 reaction, whatever is there, that is followed by this primary alcohol, again reacts with another alcohol molecule. That means the another alcohol molecule will behave like a base and that will attack on this alkyl group to form a transition state for this SN2 mechanism. Then this will become H2O positive. Sorry. Okay, this will become H2O positive. H2O. This is positive. And it is having a partial bond with the alkyl group of R here, whatever shown, O, R. Again one more oxygen with the positive charge will be formed. This is. So here what happened, whatever is there, this part is going to be removed and this alkyl group, alkoxide ion will be attacked on this alkyl group. So after that we will get this compound, this position, this situation called as transition state. This is called as transition state. So in this transition state, the bond formation, bond separation both takes place. Here bond will be separated out. Here bond will be developed. That means immediately what will happen, this reaction led to the formation of a protonated ether, that is nothing but RO positive. Here hydrogen, here R will be there. This part I am telling, this part is going to be separated out and water will be separated out. So elimination of water taken place, which is followed by the removal of proton in this another step, we'll call it third step. In this we will get ether, that is ROR. So in that way, if this alcohol is said to undergo SN2 reaction, means primary alcohol, if it is primary alcohol, then this is the way of getting the ether. Suppose if this alcohol is secondary or this alcohol is said to be a tertiary alcohol, then how this protonated compound, whatever obtained in the beginning, the protonated alcohol, this is the protonated alcohol, and how it will forms either, we will see that goes according to SN2 reaction mechanism. For example, if you see this one, is it follows SN1 path direction. So in this direction again there will be a removal of water takes place immediately. Removal of water takes place and formation of a carbocation, that is R plus, that may be secondary carbocation or tertiary carbocation. Either secondary or tertiary carbocation is possible in this method, and that secondary or tertiary carbocation formation takes place slowly, and after that we will get, it will get attacked by this another alcohol molecule. So suppose if it attacks with another alcohol molecule or OH, second alcohol molecule, then automatically what will happen, there will be again a protonated ether will be formed. That is R plus here H, here R will be formed. As you know, after the formation of protonated ether, you can easily deprotonate this one to get the ether. So what is that ether obtained is nothing but ROR. Here I am going to write, this is the ether you obtained, ROR. So there are two methods are there. One is SN1, another one is SN2. SN1 is followed by secondary and tertiary alcohols, and SN2 will be followed by primary alcohols to form ethers in this intermolecular dehydration of alcohols. So not only this one, there is another very simple method is there to prepare this symmetrical ethers in the absence of concentrate H2SO4. If you don't want to use concentrate H2SO4 orthophosphoric acid 140 degrees Celsius, then we have one more material is there. That material is called, reagent is called as anhydrous alumina. So that anhydrous alumina is also similar to that of concentrate H2SO4, is a good dehydrating agent. It will work at 250 degrees Celsius, 250 to 260 degrees Celsius. Then whatever alcohol you will take, that alcohol, 2 moles of alcohol will definitely will become ether in that process. Alcohol will become ether. Okay, so that means the symmetrical ether you can easily prepare in this method. So how we can write an equation, that is C2H5OH. Ethyl alcohol is there. If you take ethyl alcohol 2 moles like HO, C2H5 and C2H5OH, you can easily show the removal of water molecule from this, and that should be in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. Anhydrous AlCl3 at 250 degrees Celsius definitely will get an ether, that is diethyl ether is a common ether in our discussion, C2H5O, C2H5 plus water. So here also removal of water taken place and we got ether, that we will call it as diethyl ether also. It is one of the best methods to get symmetrical ethers in this process. That means you can take primary alcohol, you can take secondary alcohol, you can take tertiary alcohol to get the symmetrical alcohols, symmetrical ethers. But the point is nothing but the way of getting that alcohol ether from alcohols is different. That is of second SN1 mechanism followed by secondary and tertiary alcohols, and SN2 mechanism will be path will be followed by the primary or methyl alcohols in the discussion. Okay. So points to be remembered for this dehydration of alcohol nodes. Have a glance on this. Okay. Thank you very much. Friends, let us see the second method, most important method in the examination point of view, as well as comparative examinations point of view. For the preparation of ethers, there is a most standard method, one and only method, that is Williamson's etherification method. Actually, in this method, we can able to prepare symmetrical ethers as well as unsymmetrical ethers also. Why? Because this etherification reaction takes the help of alkoxide ion, a strong nucleophile, and this alkoxide ion, when it is treated with the alkyl halide, that means alkyl halide, as you know, primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, like that. When this treated with alkyl halide, definitely there will be formation of ether with the separation of the halide ion. So this is the main theme of the reaction. In this reaction, alkyl halide is called as a substrate. We can say it is a substrate, and this alkoxide ion we will call it as a nucleophile. This is a nucleophile. As you all know that a nucleophile and substrate, the reaction takes place when already one halide is there, means this nucleophile should be stronger nucleophile. The alkoxide ion is a stronger nucleophile as well as a strong base, and this alkoxide ion gives either via SN2 mechanism. So this method is called as SN2 method, and this Williamson etherification reactions. So let us see how a general chemical reaction of Williamson etherification reaction takes place. Suppose you have taken one sodium alkoxide or potassium alkoxide, or ONA have taken. I call this is sodium alkoxide. So here RO is minus, Na is plus, and which is treated with one alkyl halide with a different alkyl group R dash X, suppose. Then upon heating this alkyl halide with sodium alkoxide, then we will get ROR dash plus NaX. So in this reaction, whatever R dash RONA we have taken, that is called as alkoxide, sodium alkoxide. This is sodium alkoxide. This is alkyl halide, and this is ether. If you take same type of alkyl groups, it will be symmetrical. Different alkyl groups, that will be unsymmetrical ether. So this is the ether formation. In this method, the alkoxide ion, whatever is there, that alkoxide ion, when it is attacking the substrate, that is alkyl halide, first it forms a transition state, that is RO starts linking with alkyl group of alkyl halide, and the bond between halogen and the alkyl group in the alkyl halide starts separating out. So what will happens here, bond will strengthens, here bond starts breaking. So bond starts breaking here, bond starts developing here in this case. So bond develops here. So what will happens automatically after the separation of the halide, we will get ROR dash as ether, and halide will be separate. That is leaving group. As you know, this is the leaving group. Alkyl halide is the leaving group in this case. So this is ether obtained. It follows SN2 reaction mechanism. Now we will see one chemical reaction, that is CH3Cl plus C2H5 ONA. Suppose you have taken this one. Then in this reaction, the final product will be C2H5 OCH3 is a mixed ether plus NaCl. Or suppose if I have taken C2H5 Cl with C2H5 ONA, what will happen? I will get a symmetrical ether, diethyl ether, that is C2H5 O C2H5 plus NaCl, like this. In the same way, you can start separating different kinds of alkyl halides from their halogen and attaching the alkoxide ion to that to form ethers. Suppose you have taken CH C2H5 Cl, just a minute, C2H5Cl. This is this I have taken as Cl. This I have taken as Cl, and I have taken another kind of alkoxide with a branched group, alkyl group, that is CH3 tris CONA. I can call it as a tertiary butyl group attached in this one to this sodium, tertiary butoxy sodium. So sodium tertiary butoxide, I can call this one as sodium tertiary butoxide. I have not taken the alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide. I have taken the alkoxide ion, which is a branched one, sterically hindered when compared to the others, ethyl, ethoxides and methoxides. Although I can able to get the ether is C2H5O, that is CH3 thrice. So here what I got, ethyl tertiary butyl ether. So this is also another kind of ether which is unsymmetrical ether have prepared. Let us see if we take a different kind of example, that is I have taken CH3 ONA, CH3 ONA I have taken, that is sodium methoxide with a tertiary butyl halide, that is nothing but a CH3, here CH3, here CH3 is there, here halogen is there, a halogen is there, suppose halogen is there. Then what will be the answer? We will see. Okay. As we know one thing, that when the tertiary alkyl halide is there, the tertiary alkyl halide is not said to form the ethers according to Williamson synthesis, as these will undergo dehydrohalogenation. They will undergo dehydrohalogenation to give alkenes. So any reaction takes place? No, reaction won't give ether. So no ether formed in this step. Why? Because this whatever CH3 CH3 group is there, I can write this one as CH2 H, this one is X. In the presence of this strong nucleophile, that is ethoxide methoxide nucleophile, what happens? There will be removal of HX and formation of alkene takes place, not the ether. So it is there is an alkene is formed, 2-methyl propane is formed in this one. So alkene is formed. So in Williamson synthesis also, we need to remember one thing, that alkyl halide we have taken should be primary alkyl halide to get the fruitful results. Hope you understand this class. Thank you.